Alright, we're going to continue on making this part. Previously we turned this diameter down. Now we're going to hold it on this diameter and then turn this down. Now, if you look at the part, it's really, really small. It's only 200 thousandths, and if I put it in, I barely get one tooth of the jaws here. If I put it down here, you can see, look, it's not enough. It'll rip it out, so we can't use just this. Okay, now previously we tried to do this end first, but this is only a 1/8 diameter, really, really small, and then when you try and turn this down, we ended up breaking this off. So we're going to use a different type of thing. It's called a collet block. Now it's hex, so that means I can have my 3 jaws grab on it, and it accepts a collet. Okay, and in the back, if you can see, in the back here, there we go, you can see, there's like it's a set screw, but it's kind of like a pin, kind of just like the alignment pin on the collets in the mill. This too, notice this has threads on the outside. The mill collets have threads on the inside. They're different, they're not interchangeable, but the same thing, we need to be able to align it. This too is tapered to match the taper here, so that when we pull it back and lock it down with a nut on the back, it collapses it on our part. So I'm going to put the collet in, rotate it so it drops in, and then there's a nut that goes on the back, and then I will put my part in here like this, and then I will tighten it up. I'm going to have to go to the bench vise and use a tool to tighten this up. So hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So now it's in here, it's tight, it's not going to come out, and I'm going to be able to turn that 1/8 diameter on the print. So I'm going to open up my jaws. Now I don't want this to be all the way to the back against this face, because in case it's not square, it might make it run out, and then things aren't going to be, I don't know, it's not going to be square. I can open this up a ways. This chuck's jaws are a little tight to move. There we go. So you see I can get all the way on the back. I don't want to do that. So go to the back and then pull it out a smidge. Technical term, smidge. Okay, and now notice I'm grabbing, you can see, I'm grabbing by a lot of teeth. Okay, so I'm going to tighten this up. Now, with this much hanging out, we don't want to go way high RPMs, but A3 will be just fine. So this is tight, part's tight, this is tight. I'm going to do the same process as I did when the part was in here. I'm going to zero out off the end. Let's look at the print. It is 750 long, and to here it's 375. So if I subtract that 375 from 750, I have 375 from here to here. So with that said, I am just going to do exactly what I did with the other one. I'm going to come in. I'm going to make a fine adjustment to our camera. Well, I hope it's fine. A little adjustment to the camera to focus more on that. Let me see if I zoom in. That's what I want to get. Okay. So you can see what we're doing here. Alright, well, let me come back in. I'm going to come in, I'm going to touch off just like I did before. In a little bit, come in, touch, set Z0, back off, come around to the side. Down, come in and touch. Remember, I want to scratch, don't take a lot off like last time. Oh, there's a scratch, slowly move out. Set my X0. I'm going to move in about 20. Now I got to go from 375 to 125. So I'm probably going to take some cuts and then I'm going to stop the video, take some more cuts, kind of like time lapse this. But I want you to see me get going. So I'm moving in about 20 and I'm going down to 375. Now remember, once I get down to the number I'm going to, I will be able to, I'll stop, I'll come back, turn it back on, move in another 20. Now remember, the second, once I get to the second pass, I can see stop that. I can see where I am because it leaves a little line, and I can see where I'm going to. So I can just keep watching this until I get close and then look at my digital readout, just like I said last time. Nice chips. Oh, there we go. Now some people like to, once they get down here the first time, once we get down here the first time, they like to set 0 down here. Once I know my number is right. I went to 375, set 0. And then they can watch their digital readout and go to 0 instead of having to remember a number. The only problem is, if you take the tool out, go away, come back, you're going to have to retouch off the end. Alright, so I'm going to take some cuts, get it closer to size, and then I'll bring you back on board. Alright, as you can see, I've whittled it down a ways, and we need to know what size it is. So we're going to take it, my reading, and my size is 125.50, 2 quarters, and 17 pennies, so 50, 167. We're going to go to 125. 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. So I got like 42 thousandths to go. I'm going to reset my digital readout to 0 because I don't want to have to do the calculations. I'm going to take off 20 because I said 42. This is quite a bit smaller than it started, you know. Down to my number on the readout, turn this off, bring it out. I'm going to go 10 this time, just in case I had a little tool pressure issue. And I'm going to reset my 0 on X just so that I don't have to, you know, I like math, but let's not get crazy. Alright, let that stop. Ooh, it's looking pretty. What is its size? Brush off the chips. Get in here and measure it. And hope. Oh, look at that. Oh, look. Oh, gotta get it on the screen parts. 136. So I've got 11 to go. So I already set my digital readout to 0, so now I just have to move in 11. Now, as we're getting down to this small, it's really easy to break this sucker off. So if you plow into it, you can ask me for a new part, and I'll tell you the price. All right. 11,000. Nice and easy. Now remember, if you go too far, you move too far in, okay? Let's turn this off so it's safer. If I move too far in and I gotta back up, you gotta back up a couple turns past and then sneak back up to your number. So that's why I set my 0, because could you imagine if it said it was 137.1375 and I needed to move 11, and I went too far and I had to back it back up, and I'd have to remember that number. So that's another reason I like to go to 0. I was going to go to 11 and I only went to 10. Tap, 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 tap. There we go. Should be it. Nice and easy. I want a pretty finish. Smooth. Don't want it to look like a gopher chewed it. Stop. Holy shoot. Okay. Move it out of the way. I think this is a happy day. Uh-oh. Look at that. Done it again. Right on. Well, a couple of tenths. But I got plus or minus 5,000, so I'm well within tolerance. So, there we go. Take that out. Let's zoom this back out. And we're going to take this out, and I'm going to show you this finished part. So, hold on, uno momento. Let me take this out. I don't want to stop it and have to edit it again. This will come out quick enough. Yes, it did. And here is my part. Now all I'm going to have to do to this part is drill a hole in the side over on the mill. And we're going to make this part next. Now, this part you're going to make the same way. You're going to do the big, face it to length. Then you're going to do the big side. Hold it on this big diameter. Now look at, this is really, really critical. +1 minus nothing. The reason is, this is the edge finder that we touch off the side of the part when we edge find. Now, it's not going to hurt it if I made it 2.2035. Okay? The problem is, we have to move over a radius or half this diameter. So you're going to take 2.2035 and divide it by 2, and now I'm going to have 0.1017, and I'm going to have to remember that number instead of an even 0.100 to move it over, okay? Or if I made it, 0.098, I'd have to figure out half of that, and it's just not a nice round number. Okay, so we want to shoot for right at 200, okay? Again, face length. Do this side, flip it around. We'll use the collet block the same way, and we'll use a 7/32 collet to hold this and get that. So that is turning for the two pieces for the edge finder project.